Yes, guys, what you're saying? I'm buying a track car, but I don't know what I'm buying yet. So yes, guys, it's Reece from Race Planet, and I am buying a track car, but I don't know which track car I'm buying yet. So this is what this video is about, and maybe a couple more videos after this. So yeah, I'm looking to get a track car within the next, say, month. Basically, as soon as Boris opens up the tracks again, I'm looking to have a car ready to go. The Subaru is not a car that I want to be taking to the track and hammering for 4 hours, 5 hours straight. You know what I mean? Number one, I don't think it would handle it. Subarus are not the best for that kind of stuff. It'd be alright if I let it cool down and stuff, but I don't really want to be letting it cool down. Do you know what I mean? Doing 2 laps, 3 laps, having fun, and then okay, gotta have 2 laps cool down. Nah. I want something I can just drive to the track and hammer for as long as I want and not worry that it's gonna blow up. Yeah, so I'll be looking to get this track car within the next 4 weeks. I'm gonna spend this week really trying to decide what I want. Maybe this week and the next week, this couple of weeks, trying to decide what track car I want, and then the 2 weeks after, finding example of that track car that I want, that a good one for a good price. So yeah, couple of the things that I'm looking for the track car is obviously budget. I want to stay below, say, 3-4 grand below that. So yeah, that obviously rules out a whole load of track cars, because again, I want it to be fun, and obviously if I'm driving it and I have a little bump, I don't want to, you know what I mean? I don't want to be worried about, oh no, it's cost me. You know what I mean? I want to just like bump, oh that's alright, come, let's go again. You know what I mean? Obviously it's gonna get stripped out. Like, I'm going full track mode, stripped out, roll cage, bucket seats, harnesses, the lot. I'm going mad. I driv, if you've obviously watched Race Planet videos, I driv one of my friends, John O's Clio.
Come on then, blood. Get out of the way, blood. Come on, son of it. You're mad. You're nuts. This man a joke. Back in. Lift off a bit, let the back end out. Back on.
At Alton Park, and mate, that I had so much fun in that car. That car was fully stripped out, no power steering, like it was a madness, but I had so much fun in that car. And from I drove that, I knew at some point I'm gonna be buying a track car and stripping it out and going fully mad like he has. So yeah, so this video and the next couple of videos are gonna be looking at some of the cars, some of the track cars that I'm thinking about. Yeah. So the first couple of cars that I'm thinking about is, we're gonna start with Honda. Gotta start with Honda, innit? And now with Honda, there's obviously 2 cars that I'm thinking I could have as track cars, and that is, one is the EP3 and one is the FN2. Now them cars are very similar in some regards, but in other regards they're very different. For example, one thing about Hondas, which is for me is a track car that I'm looking for in a track car, is reliability. Hondas are known that you can just go and hammer them for lap after lap after lap after lap after lap after lap. You don't have to wait for them to cool down. You just hammer, and they're fine. They love it. You know what I mean? So that is very appealing to me. So then when we're looking at the EP3 versus the FN2, obviously there's some slight differences. Obviously one is the looks. For me personally, I prefer the FN2. I think the FN2 looks better. It's better in the inside. I actually had that shape of a Civic as just a run around a few years ago. I loved that car. I loved it. Power wise, engine wise, and power wise, they're practically the same. I think the FN2 engine, both got K20 engines. I think the EP3 has got a K28 engine, and the FN2 has got a K20Z engine. Very similar. There's differences in the engine. I'm not going to get too technical because, to be honest, I don't know the full technicalities. But there are differences in the engine, but they practically put out the same amount of power. I think the FN2 has got 1 bhp more. Like, is there any point? You might as well say they've got the same power. But obviously, the EP3 weighs less. I think it's 100 kilograms less than the FN2. So obviously, when you're talking about power to weight and whatnot, the EP3 is obviously better. I think the gearboxes are the same. The brakes are the same. The other big difference, for what I'm looking for as a track car, is going to be the suspension setup in the EP3 and the FN2. Now, the EP3 at the back has independent suspension, which obviously helps when cornering. But the FN2 has a beam axle suspension, so it's not as good as cornering as the EP3. So obviously, it's a track car. Cornering is a major part. But also, as I'm looking to modify this car and strip it out, and I'm going to be modifying whatever track car I get to make it into a better track car. So if I was to go for the FN2, then I would have to address that, if you know what I'm saying. But I don't know how bad it is, you know what I mean? So any of you guys, another reason for me doing these videos as well is to get your guys' opinions. I have driven a FN2 and an EP3, but I haven't driven any of them on track. So if you've got FN2, or if you've driven both, actually, if you've driven both, put down in the comments like how bad or how different is the feel of the suspension at the back. You know what I mean? Another thing is the modifications for this car. There's loads of modifications you can do. You can do cheap modifications that have a big difference. But one thing that has really got my interest in these cars is the potential to turbo them and supercharge them. And obviously, with the engine being strong, you can just supercharge them and turbo them to a point and they'll be fine. You know what I mean? You might suffer some reliability issues if you go mad, but other cars, I know you have to do a whole, basically are not reliable if you turbo them. So if I was to get a Honda as a track car, I think at the end, at some point, I definitely will be turboing it. Probably not straight away, but at some point I would be turboing it. So yeah, that's the Honda Civic Type R's, man. If I was to, I'm kind of torn. I'm kind of torn between them because I like the look of the FN2. I like the look of the FN2. I like the inside better. But obviously, I feel like the EP3 would be a better track car than the FN2. But then everybody does EP3 track cars. Everybody's done EP3. I haven't really seen much FN2s, so I might want to be different. You know what I mean? And also, looks-wise, I just touched on looks. I've seen a picture of an FN2. I've actually got it on my phone. I've seen a picture. I'm gonna pull it up. I'm gonna pull it up so you can see it. Actually, I'll pull it up now. Boom. This here. Like, it doesn't seem to me like it would cost a lot to get the car to look like that. And now for me, looking at that, I don't think an EP3, any EP3, no matter what you do to it, will come close to that. Do you know what I mean? So, yeah, we'll see. We'll see. What do you think? We're talking about the Hondas. Would you prefer EP3 or FN2? What do you think I should do? If I was to choose a Honda, would it be the FN2 or would it be the EP3? Also, if you've owned one of these cars, the FN2 or the EP3, and you've took them on track, what's your thoughts? Drop that down in the comments. In the next video, I am going to be covering the Renaults. So there's two Clio models. Yeah, the 2 Clio models, and then you've also got the Megane that I will be looking at in a bit more detail, talking about my thoughts on them, what I think the good things and the bad things of them, and then also possibly comparing them to the Hondas. So yeah, please hit that like button. Also, I need your help, man. Obviously, we spoke about the Hondas. We're going to be talking about the Renaults in the next video, but there's gotta be some cars that I'm not thinking about. Obviously, I've got a list of track cars that I'm looking at and I'm probably going to address in these videos, but I know there's some track cars that I've crossed my mind or I haven't even thought about as a serious track car. So I'm handing it over to you guys. Yeah, the budget is 4 grand. Yeah, so you can't be above 4 grand. Right, track car, obviously it has to be like a good track car. I don't want a car that's gonna break down on lap 2 or a car that's can't corner. Like, I want good track cars, track car ideas. So drop them down in the comment section, because I know you guys are gonna be saying some cars that I've completely overlooked. And obviously, if you put them down in the comments and I look at them like, whoa, actually, that could be a possibility, I'll also do a video on them. And also, please subscribe and hit that bell notification so you can stay up to date with this little series of videos. And also, at the end of these series of videos, you can see what car I decided to go with. But yeah, it's Reece from Race Planet. Peace.